In the realm of probability, there is a threshold called statistical impossibility. It's the point where a series of coincidences becomes so specific, so mathematically absurd, that luck ceases to be a rational explanation. 2.5 millennia ago, a collection of Hebrew prophets, men living in a world of parchment and candlelight, mapped out a future that defied every law of history. They didn't just guess, they detailed the precise geopolitical alignment of the 21st century. Today, we don't call these predictions anymore. We call them the morning news. If 90% of this ancient map has been followed to the letter, we have to ask, where is the final 10% taking us? Let's look at the linguistic anomaly. In the book of Zephaniah, chapter 3, verse 9, the text makes a staggering claim. For then I will restore to the peoples a pure language, that they all may call upon the name of the Lord. History is a graveyard of dead languages. When a nation is destroyed and its people scattered for 2,000 years, their language dies. Latin is a ghost. Ancient Greek is a relic. But Hebrew, for nearly 2 millennia, it was a dead liturgical tongue. Yet, alongside the restoration of the land in 1948, which Ezekiel 37 described as a valley of dry bones coming to life, we witnessed the only time in human history a dead language was successfully resurrected for an entire civilization. It's as if the DNA of a nation was kept in a vacuum, waiting for a specific timestamp to be opened.
In Zechariah 12, verse 3, the prophecy claims Jerusalem will become a cup of trembling, a heavy stone for all nations, not just neighbors, all. Look at the world in 2026. Why does a city with no oil, no massive industrial ports, and a population smaller than San Jose dominate the floor of the United Nations more than any other landmass on Earth? The answer lies in the Ezekiel 38 alliance. Written 2,600 years ago, it names a specific coalition: Magog, modern Russia; Persia, modern Iran; and Cush, the regions of Sudan and Ethiopia. For almost all history, these nations were either irrelevant to each other or bitter enemies. But look at the defense pacts of this past year. For the first time in human history, the Northern Power and Persia are in a formal military embrace specifically focused on the geography of Israel. The script is being followed by actors who haven't even read it. If you're seeing the patterns we're discussing, you're part of a growing group of people who realize that the surface-level news isn't telling the whole story. To stay ahead of the Bible Prophecy 2026 updates and the end-time signs that are unfolding in real time, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell. It helps the algorithm push this message to those searching for truth amidst the noise. Drop a comment below with the word watchman if you're paying attention.
Daniel 12, verse 4 contains a phrase that used to be a mystery. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall increase. The Hebrew implies a running to seek meaning amidst an explosion of data. In the last 100 years, we have transitioned from the steam engine to artificial intelligence. Human knowledge is now doubling every 12 hours. But notice the type of knowledge. In Revelation 13, there is a description of a global economic system where no one can buy or sell without a specific digital identity. For 1900 years, this was physically impossible. How do you track a merchant in the mountains or a trader in the desert from a central hub? You couldn't. Until the advent of CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, and satellite-linked biometrics, we have, for the first time, the actual infrastructure for a global closed-loop economy. We aren't just seeing better tech, we're seeing the singularity of control. The Bible described a one-world system at a time when it took 3 months to send a letter across the Mediterranean. The prophecy wasn't just ahead of its time, it was describing a different dimension of reality.
Perhaps the most haunting prophecy isn't about wars, it's about apathy. Jesus said, "As it was in the days of Noah, so it will be at the coming of the Son of Man." What were those days like? They weren't just evil. The text says they were eating, drinking, and marrying. In other words, aggressive normalcy. We live in an era where we can watch a conflict in the Middle East in real time on our phones, then swipe up to see a viral dance trend. This cognitive dissonance, the ability to ignore the monumental because we are distracted by the trivial, is exactly what was predicted for this final generation. We are the first generation in human history to possess the technology to destroy ourselves, the digital means to track every human on Earth, and the geopolitical alignment to trigger a global conflict centered on a single tiny city. The odds of one person guessing this 2,500 years ago is 0. This isn't just religion, this is a pattern, and patterns demand a response. History is a circle, and it's closing. The question isn't when will it happen, the question is when will you notice it's already happening. Keep your eyes open. I'll see you in the next one.
If you're finding this breakdown of biblical prophecy helpful, make sure to hit the subscribe button. We're tracking these global events every week to see how they align with the Third Temple and the Gog and Magog alliance. Drop a comment below with the word Watchman if you believe we are living in the final generation.